like a morning Zoo Crew radio show all dedicated to Andrew Jackson. Well, it's just us reading his Wikipedia page, like 3 sentences a day.
Did you know Andrew Jackson once fought George Washington?
I don't believe that.
You shouldn't believe that.
I don't know my history too well, but I'm pretty sure their lifetimes didn't overlap.
I guess they wouldn't have.
I mean, maybe just barely. He would have been a child. Well, let's see. He would have been 9 years old at the dawn of America. But yeah, they were hardly contemporaries. Unless George Washington just fought a kid. That'd be pretty cool. Just slapped the shit out of Andrew Jackson as a child.
I think that's how they chose presidents in those days.
He's like, someday, 7 presidents from now,
George Washington
you're going to be a great leader, and you're going to invent a place called Florida.
He walked out in the gray light and stood, and he saw for a brief moment the absolute truth of the world. The cold, relentless circling of the intestate earth. Darkness implacable. The blind dogs of the sun in their running. The crushing black vacuum of the universe. And somewhere 200 animals trembling like ground foxes in their cover. Borrowed time and borrowed world and borrowed eyes with which to sorrow it.
And lo, for the earth was empty of form, and void, and darkness was all over the face of the deep, and we said, look at that fucker dance.
The waste of words. Welcome to Heat Death of the Universe. From Seoul, South Korea. It is November 9th, 2020. It is 12:37 p.m. on a Monday, early afternoon. And America has been saved from the Orange Menace.
It's true, we won.
All problems are in the past. We have only a bright future to look forward to.
We never have to worry about another thing again.
Yep.
This is the beginning of the socialist revolution. We finally got the person who is going to drag us into a Star Trek-like future in Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. The amazing thing about the two is once they do the fusion dance, they'll turn into Kamala Biden, a giant bee-like mecha god that leads humanity into a place of contentness, where even the red hats will say, you know, we can all work together. We'll all pay taxes to make sure everyone is fed. And then we'll make honey. Lots of honey. Just a world of humans making honey. We'll put the bees out of business. We'll make so much honey.
In reality news,
sorry, I lost myself there.
The hits just keep on coming from the U.S. COVID-wise. I think the most recent record breaker was 120,000 infections in one day.
That's a lot.
But hey, can't put that on Biden yet.
No.
This is all Trump's fault. And the Biden administration is surely going to just fix the whole problem, right? What is there? I was wondering, like, what is even the plan? Because I don't remember hearing many specifics other than I'm going to listen to the doctors or I'm going to listen to science or whatever, which is so vague as to be pretty meaningless.
What is the plan?
Well, I do have the Biden website pulled up here about the Biden plan to combat coronavirus and prepare for future global health threats.
I'm looking at that right now. It looks like, if I am to believe what this says, he is going to spend whatever it takes without delay to meet public health needs.
That doesn't mean anything.
He's going to spend money straight out of his pocket, man.
To do what?
To meet
Where's the
public
money
health
going?
needs.
What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything.
So,
Okay, wide availability of free testing. I think testing is all free right now. I don't think
if
that's
you
an
can get
issue.
them. I think it's like hard to get them still,
Is it?
but I'm not sure about that. The only thing I saw,
In any case, there's nothing. I mean, testing is good, of course, and doing contact tracing. I don't know if that's part of their plan. But to actually slow the infections, you have to just literally shut a lot of things down. You can't have everybody on every factory floor just like ass to elbows, whatever, shoulder to shoulder, and expect this thing to go away. Like, there's no reason to think anything that they have planned, which looks like, yes, they're going to throw some more money for like, public health services. But I mean, even implementing Medicare for all wouldn't solve the problem. It would be good. It would help, but it's not going to like beat the virus. Anyway.
Oh, I agree. There's going to, well, I mean, I'm just quickly looking through the plan. I feel like I've read this in the past. One thing's that I do notice, there's no mask mandate, which, honestly,
That's like the least you could do.
it does seem like they're going to try to make testing more official. They're going to do weekly announcements and reinstate, the CDC, which is probably all going to help. I mean, it looks like it'll be better than what Trump does, but there's no mask mandate, which should probably be number one. But I guess that's been politicized too much.
There's also no plans for real stimulus, as far as I can tell.
The only plan I've heard of is, and maybe it's the only one that I care about, is the one that they might pay $50,000 in student loans on people's student loans, and that'd be incredible. I don't expect it.
Yeah, but that's not going to solve coronavirus.
It's going to solve my coronavirus.
It's a separate issue. Yeah, that would be nice, even though that's not even something Biden is pushing. That's not his administration. That's Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren trying to save their own asses in the Senate. And yeah, it's not even total student loan forgiveness. It'd be great. It would cover my outstanding loans to get $50,000. I mean, it would be great if you could get the excess of it too. Each person gets whatever's left over from their student loans. Because I'd get like $20,000.
It's a lot. I would still owe student loans.
Really? Really? Damn. Where did you go to college?
I went to a state school.
That's crazy. Why is it so expensive?
because you don't make payments for a long time. And,
Yeah, but I haven't been paying mine either, and
the interest adds up. And
I went to a liberal arts college, which I'm assuming was more expensive than if you were a state resident in a state school. That's wild, man. I didn't know you were that underwater. Sorry.
I mean, I made bad loan decisions. Took out more money than I needed.
I guess I didn't do that, but
Because It was fun to have extra money at the beginning of every semester.
I see. Well, then you deserve to be in misery for the rest of your life, obviously.
You're probably right. I probably do deserve the misery that I've inflicted on myself.
Yeah, so I just don't... This is my way of kicking off the point that nothing is really going to get better. And all of this celebrating in the streets kind of irritates the shit out of me for several reasons. One of which is the hypocrisy of... And we saw that... we saw this, I think, to a lesser degree with, like, a lot of the protesting that was going on from the left about police brutality, which I very much am in support of, but it also does seem like, how can you... The only way you can say that it's less irresponsible than when, like, all of the MAGA people were out protesting about, like, let us go back to our regular lives, is that, well, the protests against police violence are actually valid, but they are certainly spreading more of the disease. I don't think there's any way around that. You can't protest in large numbers without spreading the virus. Like, even if every single person is masked up and washing their hands, like, it's going to create more cases than
Much
otherwise.
like you can't vote in large numbers without spreading the virus.
Yeah, exactly. And
Can't
it's
work in large numbers without spreading the virus.
It's no coincidence that the numbers are spiking and spiking, like, to, like, record-breaking levels too. So, and I think we'll see even worse numbers in, like, the coming, like, week or two.
Well, we got 2 months of Trump still, right? Or is it 3 months? It's 2 months.
It's a little over 2 months, I think. Just about. That's what I'm looking forward to the most, in a way, unless he really like goes off the deep end and starts, like, actually hurting people, which I don't think he will, because he just looks like a defeated man.
I don't think he will either, but
I think he's going to be funny as fuck. I think he's just gonna walk out, like, to a press conference, like, totally nude or something. Like, I mean, not that actually, but something as ridiculous, I feel like, is in store for us.
Self-implode, be like, I never really believed those things I said anyways, you MAGA supporters.
It would be cool.
I just did it all as a power trip. I just wanted to see how far I could get in this system.
It would be cool if he just totally, like, threw away his following like that. But I see him more likely just to, like, lean into it even harder, but, like, setting himself up for like a high visibility, like, media position or something.
Yeah, I imagine.
Like, even if it's like, I mean, people were saying from the beginning, like 4 years ago, that
he just wanted to open a TV network.
Yeah, he'll have his own television network or something. Because it seems like even, like, Fox News.
Wait, you don't think that he's going to be prosecuted right after he leaves office? You don't think they're going to throw him in jail?
That's another hilarious
thing. They're not going to lock him up?
No, they're not. For the simple fact that no president has, like, quote, like, I mean, it doesn't happen this way exactly, but no administration has, like, really pressed charges against the previous administration ever, as far as I know. I got into it with somebody online about that, because they were the ones saying, like, oh, Trump has all these outstanding charges in New York State, and even if Biden does pardon Trump, it can only be on the federal level, which I don't even know if that's true, but they're like, the state could, like, state of New York can still go after Trump.
Trump will be just fine.
Of course. Like, the precedent has been set. Like, if you're president, you just don't go to jail. I mean,
if you do, you get to keep your Secret Service.
Who is more clearly guilty than like Nixon, right? He didn't go to jail, and he was pardoned. I guess it's the reason why. But so I don't know what these people who are saying, like, Trump is definitely going to get, like, punished somehow.
I mean, Bush Jr. is clearly more guilty than Nixon ever thought of being.
Who?
Bush Jr.
Oh,
Bill
yeah.
Bush.
Yeah.
The Merchant of Death.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's like the perfect example of like how you don't go to jail after being president. Even if you're like hated as widely as Trump is. I mean, I think
How many years until people love Trump the way they love Bush?
I'm saying 2 years until the Aaron Sorkin penned Oscar bait movie comes out.
What hobby does Trump pick up post presidency that makes people be like, oh, look, he's gotten really into like
Nah.
painting, comics?
He's not interested in stuff.
Shakespeare?
He'll never.
Trump's going to start doing 10-minute Shakespeare plays in the park?
Just continue golfing and eating fast food and being a piece of shit.
I'm looking forward to Trump's take on
People don't usually change too radically in their old age, especially people like Trump who have like no interest in life. Really, like I don't think he gets pleasure from anything. Maybe golf gives him some
Big Macs,
and maybe for like a split second, a Big Mac gives him pleasure.
I mean, I love McDonald's, but a way I can tell like. McDonald's is not very good, but I love it for whatever reason. But the Big Mac's terrible. Big Mac is terrible. Really, the only thing worth getting at McDonald's is the Quarter Pounder with cheese, and if you're really hungry, the double Quarter Pounder with cheese. And any other choice at McDonald's is a bad choice.
You're really drawing a line in the sand here.
I mean, if I had to choose between Medicare for All and a double Quarter Pounder, you know which one I would choose.
Yeah. Everybody, lock the choice into your minds. We'll tell you at the end of the episode. You can make bets with your friends. What would Jason choose? So, yeah. Presidential election. I mean, I guess there's, the only relief I'm honestly feeling is like, at least it's fucking over. And like, and the other relief in a way is the old tactics of telling me to shut up about criticizing Biden, like, are no longer valid. Although they're already pivoting and making new reasons, which we predicted, which lots of people predicted.
I wanted Biden to win, by the way.
Yeah.
But this win actually feels like
a loss.
It was a defeat. It was it's being painted as a victory, and I'm kind of like annoyed by everyone who is like celebrating it. It was so damn close. Like, I mean, I was fairly certain Trump won on like the Tuesday that the election happened, Wednesday for us. Never sure if I should say Wednesday or Tuesday because it was Wednesday for me when all that was happening. Anyway.
People understand time zones.
I don't.
Yeah, you and I left the last episode feeling kind of grim about, they lost again. But I was feeling grim in the way of like, no matter what happens, we all fucking lose.
I thought that
yes, I wanted Biden to win as well, but for like the most superficial reasons.
If there had been a blue wave in the Senate, I think that the win could have actually been like not great, but better than what it's going to be. Well, though Mitch McConnell staying, the Democrats only got one seat in the Senate, which means they still don't have the majority of the Senate.
And they lost seats in the House.
And they lost 5 seats in the House. They might end up getting 2 seats in the Senate, depending on how the Georgia race goes, which is still like in a weird place.
It doesn't matter. You either control the Senate or you don't. Like, that's all it comes down to. And the Republicans are going to control it.
Hey,
Mitch McConnell is still going to be at the helm.
The good news is Mitch McConnell and Biden have a history of working together.
Yeah, that's great news for the country. It's great news for all the people who live in America.
They've always made great decisions together, too.
Example? I thought
they
you had
decided to get a double Quarter Pounder with cheese instead of a Big Mac.
No, I mean, to me, it just seems almost like, this sounds a little conspiratorial, but like when I saw like the fact that, you know, the Senate was clearly still in the hands of Republicans, it seemed like it's exactly what Democratic leadership wants. Because it's just an excuse. It's a baked-in excuse for not getting anything done. They don't even have to pretend to try. It's just everybody except like everybody in power on both sides. It's a win for them. The Democrats get to say, "Look at us. We're at the top. We're the kings of America now." Meanwhile, they're not, because, you know, the Senate is there to block anything they might even pretend to want to do. So I saw something yesterday. It was like, it was so naive, but it was someone who seemed very sincere about what they were saying. And it was just like someone going, "Woohoo, Biden won. Now we can get to work on Medicare for all, UBI, and blah, blah, blah," and all this like idealized stuff. And like, I couldn't help but just respond to them and say, like, you know that Biden's not even pretending to be in favor of any of those things. In fact, he said very clearly he will veto any form of Medicare for all that crosses his desk. But it makes me realize there's still so many people, these sort of like, this herd-like naive crowd of Democrats and sort of centrist liberals, that they think Biden is for all these things that Bernie was talking about for some reason. I don't know where they get that idea.
A lot of Republicans seem to think that Trump is for those things. I think a lot of people think that whichever side that
Trump never said he was for Medicare for all, but he said really vaguely back in 2016 and during the campaign, like, "I'm going to get you all health care and I'm going to bring all your jobs back." Like, and that's just like the vaguest promise.
No. What I was trying to say is, like, you look at the exit polls in Florida where they passed like the $15 minimum wage, and basically everyone was like, "Yeah, we love the idea of everyone having health care. We love the idea of everyone having a higher minimum wage." But even if people love all the progressive policies, they still seem to just vote for whatever the media tells them to. And I'm pretty sure you take the general, like, Republican, conservative, Christian voter or whatever, they're voting probably on an issue like abortion. But I think they think that someone like Trump, it really is going to get them health care. Whereas I think like the general, like, Democrat voter thinks Biden is also going to do that stuff, even though they can clearly, either of those people can clearly say, "Hey, we're not doing this. We're against it. We find it disrespectful because, I mean, the Sackler family is going to keep giving us money as long as we make sure that you guys keep doing private health insurance." I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess what I'm saying is, I don't fucking understand people.
I think even worse than that are the people that do know better, who still attack, like, people like the Pod Save contingent.
The Johns?
Yeah, like that side of things, who they know better, and they just say that, you know, Medicare for all is like, not now. Now is not the time.
It's
or
out of reach for now.
Yeah, like,
The public's not ready.
You have to negotiate and settle and slowly work your way towards these things, and all you do, all that means is like setback after setback. Like, there's no slow trajectory towards it at all right now. Like, especially having elected Biden into office, the guy who literally said, "Oh, if it makes it through both houses of Congress, I'll fucking stomp it out."
Some of the worst things I've seen about takes on the election is, I saw a couple of Twitter threads where people were actually happy that the Republicans won the Senate. Like, Democrats that were happy about it because they felt like
it's a balance of power.
The balance of America was restored, as in
Jesus Christ.
It's really good to have a Democrat at top, a Republican Senate, and a mostly Democratic House.
Makes me
because
sick.
that way there's this good, like, centrist, like, just the moderate America where, like, actual hard choices are made and people have to compromise to get anything
Yeah,
done.
all of the adults can compromise with each other and fucking jack each other off. It's great. What a wonderful place. What a wonderful time to be alive.
I expect there will be 4 years of nothing. There might be like some like...
I think things are going to get worse, honestly. The pandemic's not going away. The economy is not going to like suddenly start rising. Like, people are just going to keep dying, like, and people are going to be still like just thrown into this grist mill of like, go to work, can't let the economy completely fall out, and it's going to fall out anyway. We're going to be in a Great Depression in like 2 months, and of course, like, anyone who criticizes the Democrats is going to be written off as like, well, they inherited these problems. It's like that whole idea of like, we inherited these problems, like, fails immediately when you look at who inherited the problems before that.
That's true.
Like,
I could see even like Republicans making it a lot harder now to actually pass like any type of stimulus relief for coronavirus, just because they might be pissy that they don't have the they're not the top. They don't have the top guy anymore.
Well, the only reason they will ever do it anyway is for votes. And so I think that actually
they might do it also because there are a lot of business owners, like major CEOs, who are pushing for those type of stimulus things. Not because they care about lives of people or people being healthy, but they know that if people are getting stimulus checks, that it goes back into their businesses and that money trickles up and they get to make more money.
Yeah, they understand fourth grade economics, and so do all the politicians making these decisions. They know that's how it works, but they're still willing to like throw people into the fucking just grinding machine because they know they can. They know there's enough expendable people to keep the factories running. Unless, you know.
Oh yeah, they're not going to call off work or anything like that, dude.
I'm saying like I feel like the only way to fight back against any of this shit is like good old fashioned, you know, what they did in the 30s to bring about the New Deal. FDR didn't want to do any of that shit. His hand was forced by people who were like, hey, fuck this. We're not going to work anymore. There were, you know, sit downs in the factory. So he was like, okay, well, here's some help. Here's some like jobs.
I thought
like
FDR
decent jobs.
was like super into. Oh, I'm probably screwing up history now, but I thought FDR actually was really into like kind of figuring out how to like get everyone health care at one point, because I know that he like
not initially is what I'm saying. Like that, like the New Deal itself, like it wasn't like out of the goodness of his heart. Like he reacted to the pressures of, you know, his constituency, the people he's supposed to represent, the country.
I don't think people do that anymore.
Yeah, the reaction, it's like the mechanism's totally broken now.
Well, that's not completely true. I think every politician works for its constituency. Blah, 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 blah. Words.
Not, I mean...
No. I was just going to say, it's just you have to realize that those are the people with money, and those are our Citizens United people. Our corporations, our true citizens.
Oh, yeah. That's who they're representing more than anybody else. But I don't know. I just think that and I don't know how to organize. I'm not an organizer. I don't even live in America. And that's like the real fucking damning situation right now, is that we can't even really organize safely because
I've got some
all we can
DSA
do is
here and there.
Whatever. Fuck. I'm kind of sick of the DSA at this point.
I like the DSA, but
why? What have they done? They ran some candidates, but what are their candidates doing? They're not getting a stimulus passed. I mean, we'll see.
Work on it more than other people.
We'll see. I don't know. I mean, they should they should be organizing like a general strike throughout the whole country. That's what all. I mean, I don't know. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Like, the only possible hope of breaking this fucked up cycle is a genuine, like, left united third party in conjunction with a labor movement, like a real labor movement, not this fucking fake union shit that we have now, where the union just works directly for the Democratic Party. Because that's the only thing. You talk about like politicians reacting to their constituency. The only thing they react to is like immediate economic state of things. And if enough people say, I'm not going to work this week, all at the same time, that threatens the whole economy in a huge way.
Yeah.
That's the only way things got done in the 30s. And yeah, and it was violent. Like, you know, the union busting was insane, but like, I don't know. I don't see any other way. I mean, elections are not the way. I mean, that's been like scientifically proven at this point. Like, elections in the United States at the very least. I don't know. But so yeah, in 2 months we're gonna have this great new administration. I took a look at who's like on the short list for a lot of the
Cabinet
the
positions?
big cabinet positions, and it's as stupid and depressing as you would expect.
Well, aren't you happy that they're going to get rid of DeVos?
I guess so, but who's replacing her?
I didn't check. I imagine it's no one great.
Let me find the list.
I mean,
here.
what I saw a Politico list of like who the likely people are, and I know that Biden's already being pushed to choose even more conservative people than he probably would have chose on his own, just because the Senate didn't go the way the Democrats wanted. And I think he might have chose these people regardless, considering that I think that the main arm of the Democrat Party is giving more credit to like the Lincoln Project than they are to like, you know, the progressives who were down on the streets actually campaigning for them, because like they were like, oh God, Trump's actually bad enough to where we have to support this asshole being Biden.
He's doing the same exact thing, basically, that Obama did, and Obama, it was I've got this fucking itch in my throat.
Coronavirus?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
It's cool. If you cough it out, it's okay.
He's trying to do this like this Lincoln cosplay of like, I'm gonna bring in my enemies, and like, you know, like it's gonna be a cabinet.
Didn't that get Lincoln shot?
I mean, I don't know if that's exactly so. if that's a perfect like A to B connection, but
They don't have to be perfect connections.
it looks like the top choice for Secretary of Education. I mean, I probably should have read this beforehand, but just on the top line, she's a POC, and it's a woman, so already there, like, can't fail, right?
That's good.
That's actually the only thing that people are talking about is Biden's going to have a very diverse cabinet of women and different racial backgrounds. It's like, yeah, that's nice, but who the fuck are they? Like, that's more important. Like, what are they actually going to do? What are their real backgrounds?
What do they believe in? Do they believe in anything?
It looks like she was an elementary school teacher and former president of the National Education Association, which I don't really know anything about, I guess.
She'll probably be better than Betsy DeVos.
Yeah, on like this 3-paragraph thing I'm looking at about her seems better.
I mean, if she had anything to do with education, she already knows more about education than DeVos.
Yeah, I mean, she was horrible. So, okay, good. I guess that's an improvement. How about the Secretary of Energy? He's
Who's
the one
that?
that really stands out to
Does
me.
he like fracking?
Oh, he loves fracking.
Does he really?
He says, actually, that fracking is good for the environment.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's good for water too, right?
Oh, that's part of the environment. Yeah, Ernest Moniz, I guess. I don't know exactly. I guess he's got a weird haircut. He's a nuclear physicist who also served as President Obama's energy secretary.
Obama was great for the environment, right?
Yeah. And of course, he has ties to the fossil fuel industry, including serving as an independent director on the board of utility owner Southern Company. This Politico article puts it lightly. This might worry climate change activists on the left. His unanimous confirmation as energy secretary in 2013 could make him a no-drama pick, although some Republicans could oppose him, given his prominent role in negotiating the Iran nuclear deal during the Obama administration. So that's what Republicans aren't going to like about him. Not the fact that he says fracking is actually a net positive for everybody, which is just insane.
Well, it allowed us to produce more oil than some of our Middle Eastern countries that we like to oppress.
Or that we're still going to always be reliant on, like Saudi Arabia, no matter what.
So what position is he going to give John Kasich?
He's just going to let Kasich be the president. That's my guess. He's going to be like, listen, Mac, you're spring chicken compared to me. I'm tired, Mac. And yeah, Kasich will be the new president. I'll admit I got suckered. I feel embarrassed. I got suckered by this like phony thing traveling around Twitter the other day that said that Dick Cheney is like an official advisor to Biden or something.
Oh, that's not true.
Well, but what is true is that they are friendly, and Cheney did encourage Biden to run in 2015. And that was when Obama actually told Biden not to run. And what people are saying now is that if that had gone differently, if Obama had pushed for Joe, which kind of why would he? Joe's a dud. But Joe probably had a better chance of winning back then than Hillary did in retrospect.
Yeah, probably.
Because he could have been like, look, I'm going to like extend the Obama years. Like I was a part of that.
See, I'm kind of a monster. I actually think Hillary would do a better job than Biden. But
because her brains aren't leaking out of her ears, but she'd be starting like 7 more wars.
Well, she's a bit of a monster, but I think that
I mean, Biden is
she's a smart monster.
Biden is incidental at this point. He has no thought. He's just listening to advisors. That's it. Like, that's the other thing is like his dementia is going to get so much worse. Like I've said this before. I don't think he's going to make it through 4 years. Either A, he'll just die, or B, I think he's going to be so deranged that like no one can deny it anymore. Like it's amazing to me that people still deny that he has dementia, but
I'm not 100% sure if he does. He probably does.
You can't be serious.
I'm not 100% sure.
Why?
I don't know.
Have you not seen the man speak?
Oh, I mean,
He's all of the classic signs, like when he like closes his eyes real tight because he doesn't know where he is, and he's just trying to focus his dying brain on anything. Like, he called his granddaughter his dead son's name. I mean, come on. That's not just like fumbling your words. That's like literally not knowing what you're saying, where you are, what's up and what's down. I mean, I'm looking forward to two things so far in a cynical, like, this might be entertaining way. Number one is whatever Trump does in the next 2 months might be just like goddamn hilarious. Two is just like the endless quote unquote gaffes and quote unquote stutters we're going to get from Biden. Like, I know some people are saying like, oh, well, Reagan had dementia, but like not right away. I don't think he was like cognitively impaired when he was running in 79, 80. Like, I know in his second term, he definitely was not all there for sure. But I feel like back then it was much easier to hide presidents. You know, people didn't have cameras with them all the time. Yeah, they would just like wheel him out for a speech now and then. But like, I feel like these days you have to be much more of a public figure. But who knows? They'll probably get away with just hiding him a lot. And maybe Kamala will have a more prominent role in like representing the administration. Do you see? I saw this footage of her from not too long ago where she had her own little gaffe, little Freudian slip, where she referred to it as the Harris administration instead of the Biden administration.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. And then she kind of went back and tried to correct herself a little bit. She said something effective like, the Harris administration looks forward to working with Joe Biden, something like that. So yeah, you know, she's just like, she's so cold, stoned, like, she's such a killer. I don't know. I could see her like fucking poisoning his soup or something. But
I don't think she'll go that far.
I'm just
Possible.
saying I wouldn't be shocked if he turns up dead soon after and it's like foul play. But no, she's mostly banking on like she thinks she'll be able to get elected like in 2024, which she will absolutely not.
Yeah, because she'll have to run against Pete, and Pete's also going to be gunning.
I mean, I think a Republican's going to win next time, unless my dream of like a real new left party happens. I don't think anything good can come of the Democratic Party anymore. There's no insurgency. Bernie couldn't do it. Nobody else is going to be able to fucking do it. I wish everyone would just collectively give up on I wish everyone remotely on the left would just agree to give up on the Democratic Party. If enough people just did that like simultaneously, I don't know. Until that happens, I don't see anything changing significantly.
It's gonna happen.
I don't either, but I'm saying that's the only way.
I think it's more likely. I mean, if anything good's going to happen, maybe if the Democrats, and I could see them actually doing this just for various reasons. If they really start pushing right now to get rid of the Electoral College, and then maybe some people start pushing for ranked choice voting and stuff, I could see things speeding up. But right now, the two-party system is just so entrenched. And both the DNC and RNC, they spend a lot of money to make sure that there's never a viable third party.
Yeah, but the third parties that they're crushing are very minuscule. So I'm saying it has to be a massive movement.
I can't see it happening. People are so entrenched in their two sports teams.
Well, a lot of people are not, but even a lot of people see that there's a problem with the two-party system.
It could just be because a lot of people think like me and think that there's no... I don't know. I guess if there was an alternative option, I could get swept up in it. It's just so hard to believe that any sort of like David and Goliath situation is actually going to work.
I mean, it's happened before in the short history of U.S. politics. There wasn't always just the Republican and Democratic Party.
That's true.
Like, the Democratic Party was created, and now it is what it is. But, I mean, it's the same thing I've always thought about. Like, when people say, don't throw your vote away to the third party. Well, it wouldn't be thrown away if everybody who thought that way just voted. If everybody who hates Republicans and Democrats alike voted for a third party, then that third party would have a lot of fucking votes. I mean, it's just as simple as that. But people are too fucking cowardly, and they're too, like, just, like, cowed into this idea of
it's not just
nothing can ever change.
It's not just being cowardly. It's also, and I mean, this is something that Bernie went through. It's media. Media only focuses on those two parties, and it's so hard to get the messaging. Like, when everyone in the media is like, blah, 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 this guy and this guy, ignore everything else. And that's all, like, some people see.
Yes, but if you have a popular mass movement like Bernie did, and if you actually direct that towards, like, a new party outside of the two-party system, that's too big to ignore. Yes, you can ignore the Green Party. Yes, you can ignore the Libertarian Party, because they're too small, and because of the narrative of these fringe freaks always trying to, you know, they're just ruining the elections for the rest of us, whatever. But I mean, I'm not saying what I'm saying is likely to happen. I'm not that optimistic at all. But I'm saying it's the only way to actually fix anything, even remotely, because nothing is changing now. We're just going into the same fucking cycle we've been in always.
You don't believe in slow incremental changes?
No.
Through compromise?
No, not now. Not with urgent issues like the climate and, like, mass, you know, disease. No, I don't. Now is not the time for slow pragmatism. And even the slow pragmatism that people advocate for, all it is just reinforcing that neoliberal, like, chokehold on America. The people, the pragmatists, the fucking Buttigieg types, they don't give a fuck about Medicare for all and the Green New Deal. They just care about, I mean, it's the problem with everybody. Like, I mean, they're looking out for themselves and themselves alone. Buttigieg wants, you know, the legacy of I became the president, and I don't know why I'm thinking about it. I just saw a picture of Pete Buttigieg, and that's why I'm thinking about him now.
He might be I know that he's gunning to be UN ambassador under Biden.
Yeah, he's probably going to get some fucking piddly position.
I mean, they'll probably give him a press secretary, which I don't think he wants.
I don't think he would take that. That's beneath him in his mind.
Yeah, but they do want to fill out his team wants to fill out his resume some.
Yeah, but the press secretary is like nothing. The press secretaries come and go. Like, I don't think there's ever been like someone who was a direct competitor in the race becomes the press secretary of the new president. That's just, it seems so ridiculous to me. Another terrible possible choice, the person that's on the top of this list, is the Michelle Flournoy. I don't even know if that's how you say her name. Flournoy?
Tell me about her.
Well, she's apparently at the top of the list for Secretary of Defense.
Oh, I thought they had Tammy Duckworth up at the top of that.
She's in the second rank. And there's another guy, Jack Reed, who I don't even know. He's like a retired Army captain. But Flournoy, I guess. She's a respected policy wonk with significant management experience in co-founding the centrist Center for a New American Security. That sounds eerily similar to what was it called? The New American Century. The think tank that brought us 9/11, or some say. It was a Project for a New American Century. That's what it was.
Oh, I forgot about that thing. I actually remember that now. That's a big...
Yeah, they're the ones who said, like, we need a
forever war?
No, why can't I think of the fucking word? It's too early. Pearl Harbor type scenario in order to justify attacking Iraq, something like that. And that's what set off, well, that was one of the things that set off a lot of the 9/11 trutherism. No, she's just, she's like a career, like, let me see. I probably should have looked into this stuff beforehand. I did a little bit, but I've forgotten. Oh, her big concern is competing with China. So that's cool. Saying the Pentagon needs to develop new technologies to outpace China. Yeah, she is in the private sector, of course. That's what we need more of in the government. CEO of West Exec Advisors.
I mean, we're going to get more of it in the government because, well, I know that you have I kind of like some of the progressive Democrats. Like, I think AOC and Ilhan Omar and others are actually okay, or even good. But they're already under attack by the corporate Democrats. Like, the people that I like that are Democrats are being constantly attacked by them.
They haven't even done anything, though. Like,
I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, what have they done? Tell me. Tell me what they've done. Except for voting for the largest stimulus ever that didn't help anybody. Except for gigantic corporations that didn't need any help.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like, they seem cool. They're called progressives. They have words like Medicare for all in their vocabulary.
That's good.
It's better than nothing. It's better than the opposite, I guess.
I mean, what do you expect them to do? There are two people in Congress. You got to get more people like that in there.
I expect them to challenge the decisions that the congressional leadership makes, like Nancy Pelosi.
I've challenged some of them.
Well, I don't know about that.
I mean, if everything is just defeat, if there's like no hope, what's the point of even voting for anyone? I don't know. The Democratic Party's just decided to move farther to the right, and they don't really want to support candidates who are trying to move it to the left.
Yeah, of course not.
I don't think it's good to attack the ones who actually do seem to be on the left, though, because
they're the only ones that can possibly be pushed at all, though. So I think that's exactly who should be, like, held to account. Saying, fuck you, Joe Biden, you suck, isn't going to move Joe Biden anywhere because he's never going to move to anything. But if you say, AOC, we're not going to fucking vote for you again just because we think you're cool, unless you actually show us something. That's how you move your politicians. You have to leverage your vote. It's not just with the president. It's especially with people that are in Congress and in the Senate. Like, their whole life is just one term to the next, trying to stay afloat. So if you want to stay in this position, fucking deliver, do something. At least show us you're trying to do something. I don't think that's too harsh. And AOC is fine. She's going to be fine forever. She's going to be reelected over and over again. Like you said, the Republicans threw a bunch of money to try to unseat her, and it failed miserably. I mean, I think some of that infighting is almost for show in a way. It's to be like, look, there's a division within the Democratic Party between the left and the center. I don't think that division's as sharp as they make it seem, honestly.
Well, sure. I'm just, I don't know. I don't really know how things get better. Like, if everyone's going to continue voting Republican or to the right, what am I trying to say? So, I think the only people that actually have chance at winning elections are against the current Republican Party, are progressives, and it seems like the Democratic Party does not want to run them. And in fact, the ones they already have, I think they would like to get rid of.
Yeah, probably.
So
I'm just saying that, like, turning a blind eye to, like, maybe the failures or the inaction of the squad doesn't help anybody either. I'm not saying like I fucking hate AOC. I'm not saying that. I like her. I want to like her more. I liked her a lot when she first came in, just because of her basic, like, stance on the issues, of course. But and yes, I know she's just one person, but she's also very popular and has more like weight behind her than the average, like, congressperson. So the idea that, like, I mean, yeah, maybe there's literally nothing she can do, but I just don't know what she's done, honestly. Yeah. And I think, and what I worry about is that this whole squad phenomenon is going to birth a whole bunch of fucking fake people. That's what I think a lot of these Bernie crats are as well. They're just opportunists. They're like, oh, here's a way into a position of power. Just say that you support the Green New Deal and Medicare for all. You can win some elections. And that's better than the alternative, I guess. But, like, I'm just saying it's something to be aware of. I think it's never good to just, like, only assume the best of a politician, no matter how much you like want to like them or how much you liked them at some point. Including Bernie, of course.
But the more people you have saying they support those things, the more likely it is to actually have those things pass. But the problem that I have is that the party that's most likely, the Democrats, they're the party most likely to support those things. And that party, for the most part, only wants to run people who don't support those things.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that there needs to just be a fucking Dem exit. All these people need to fucking give up on this party. You're not, I mean, I don't see it in any possibility of changing it from within. Not significantly. I mean, do you see how hard they've gone further right than ever in a response to someone trying to change it from within, which was Bernie. And you said that, like, only progressives can beat Republicans. Did you just see what happened in the presidential election? Biden may be like the least progressive Democratic nominee in a while.
And he barely won.
But he still won. And
Barely.
he won against someone that had, yes, and the win was not amazing, but I don't know about these congressional wins too that people are so excited about. Were they like blowouts?
For the most part.
We'll see. We'll see what these people with these new Bernie crats or whatever.
Oh,
do.
there aren't any new ones. There's the same ones.
So they just maintained their seat?
Yeah, but I mean the places that ran moderate Democrats over people who were progressive lost their seats or didn't gain seats.
With like exceptions. I mean, there are exceptions to that, but I don't know, whatever. All I remember was when AOC first came in, she had like a sit-in with like the Sunrise Movement in Pelosi's office. And then I don't think I ever saw anything like that challenging like establishment power since then. It's just a lot of chummy, like kissing up to people who like she has to work with.
Yeah, I mean, that's politics. That's just going to happen.
Yeah, but the whole point of an AOC is to say, no, it's not just politics. We can change things. Those are like her words. Like, revolution. So, where's the revolution? I'm concerned that people are being blindsided by this word progressive. And I'm not saying like the first people to attack should be the AOCs and the squad, but I'm saying like we can't like rely on these people the way that a lot of people seem to be doing. I think in theory, someone like AOC would agree would agree with what I'm saying. It's saying that you should hold politicians accountable and you should scrutinize them.
Yeah, but it also sounds like you agree with the Democrat Party that maybe Democrats just shouldn't be running the progressives at all.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
To force them out of the party so that they have to start their own thing.
No, what I wish is that AOC would voluntarily leave the party and start her own thing, and that Bernie would have done that 4 years ago, and that, yeah, people who actually care about, people who don't believe in what the Democratic Party represents would stop being in the party and thinking that you can change it from within. That's a failed strategy. It's done. It's finished. I don't see any way of changing that.
The Republicans were changed from the within with the Tea Party, right? Yeah, I don't know.
Sort of, but they still basically do the same. I mean, Trump basically carried out the same kind of shit that George W. Bush did, except not quite as bloodthirsty. I mean, for all of his bluster and all of his like lack of manners, he basically ruled like a traditional Republican. The only reason other Republicans hated him was because of how publicly stupid he was. It wasn't about his policies. They were never attacking his policies, ever. They're like, his lack of decorum is unacceptable. He makes us look bad.
He makes America look bad. Yeah. No, I get
America
that.
is bad. Like, Trump just was an unfiltered, like, expression of America. And that's what people don't like. That's what people in power don't like about it.
That's what
They're
lot
saying,
of people
shh,
don't like about it.
quiet. You're saying the quiet part loud. Stop doing that. Okay, let's get this Biden guy. He's quiet. Well, he's also demented, so we got to also keep him extra quiet. I just don't feel any more hopeful about the United States than I did before a couple days ago, whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't really either. I mean, disagree there.
Eradicate my student debt, that'd be cool, but I don't see that happening either.
I don't think that, I think it's probably best that Biden won the election, but I don't think the election was a victory in any sort of way. Mainly because of how there was no blue wave in the Senate, which is what worries me more. And the election was a lot closer than I expected. I kind of expected it to be a kind of blowout for Biden.
Yeah, everybody was saying that. It was just wishful thinking, and it was bad polling, and
well, polling should be disregarded, which I guess
that's what the basis of all of that was.
My basis for it was watching Trump handle the coronavirus and thinking, surely there's no way Americans could support this. Anyone could do a better job than that.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
But Trump's entire clamoring insane base has been saying coronavirus is either a hoax or not a big deal. So I'm not surprised that they voted for him again. Not really at all. I thought maybe the older people, which in the polls, it said they were all turning towards Biden. But I think in reality, if you look at the stats, after the fact, still tons of the elderly, turned out for Trump anyway.
That's true.
And people were saying, oh, well, they're going to be the ones who have the most, direct contact with the horrors of the virus, is all their friends around them are probably dying from it. But I think they still don't care. A lot of that ideology, trumps, for lack of a better verb, anything else. The culture war shit is what's seems to be stronger than anything on both sides.
So,
it's really clear to me who won. It's the same people who win every year. Multinational corporations who funded both parties, as they always do. They wouldn't have cared who won, honestly. Although as soon as it seemed like Biden was winning, Wall Street just started doing a big celebratory dance, just the way that a lot of these individuals were doing in the streets.
That's true. I kind of expect that very little will be done in the next 4 years. I think there might. So I got to go soon. But here's my expectations of the Biden presidency. I think the first month he gets in, I do think they will push through some type of coronavirus stimulus stuff. And honestly, I think those first things they pass through will be the only things that happen by executive action that aren't drone strikes and other things that are just commonplace for executive actions. And then it'll be 4 years of nothing. And anytime they try to do something, Mitch McConnell and the Republican-controlled Senate will make sure that nothing actually happens. The economy will probably tank because it's already tanking. And the Republicans will probably do everything in their power this time to make sure that it doesn't get lifted off the ground, which will make the Democrats look really bad because even if coronavirus is fixed and the economy tanks, with the Democrats having the president, it's just good for the Republicans to make them look as bad as possible. And there's probably no better way to make a president look bad than just destroying the economy. And then whoever we get next, I'm actually kind of up for I think Trump will run again, just because I think Trump hates losing, and if he's still around, I think he will spin the media in a way to where he just drums up the bass for 4 years and tells, hey, I was cheated. I actually won that election. It doesn't matter if he won or not. But I think in his head, he'll convince himself that he won and that he was cheated and that he has to defeat Joe Biden.
I think he'd be throwing way more of a fit than he has been. He's been complaining a little bit, but he's been pretty like low key, low energy about all of this, like so far. I think on some level he's relieved. Honestly,
Maybe.
He's not relieved to lose, but I think he's very over being the president and like all that entails.
Yeah, I haven't followed it closely. I know that he's kind of freaked out on Twitter some.
Yeah. I don't know.
I could see him stewing for 4 years and then being like, fuck it, I got to do it again.
I think it depends. I think if he can somehow stay in the spotlight in some way without having to be the president, then he won't run again. Also, he's going to be what? Past 80 years old by the next election.
He'll still be 2 years younger than Biden.
Okay, but I don't know. I'm on the opposite end. I'm leaning more towards he won't run again. But I also think even if he wanted to, it would be shut down by the Republicans this time, because the only reason they didn't shut it down last time,
they didn't think he could win.
Exactly.
This time they would think.
I think that they would pull the rug out from underneath him immediately, and there's so many ways they could do that.
Because I think if Biden gets as little done as I expect, I think that the base that supports Trump will just like their fever for someone like Trump or Trump himself will just increase.
Well, what do you think about Tucker Carlson? People keep saying he's like this likely candidate because he's a celebrity and he's quote unquote smart, but he's also like, you know, has like a raging, insane ideology, right-wing ideology. I don't know where that started, but I just started noticing people saying like he's our next guy.
Running. I was thinking it was going to be.
You haven't heard people talk about him running?
I always hear people mention Tom Cotton.
It's Tom Cotton, but like Tom Cotton is the charismaless. He's got the ideology, but he's also kind of just like a boring politician.
Now that you mentioned Tucker Carlson, I could see him running, and I could also see that being Trump's way into the spotlight. I see Trump actually being an advisor to him because they're like friends, right?
I think so. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I don't know. I will be very surprised of anything. I do think the moment Biden gets in, I think they're going to try to push through some stuff quickly through executive action. I don't know what. But I think just to make them look like they're actually trying to enact changes, they will do some stuff the first like couple of months.
Yeah,
but then I think it'll be 4 years of basically inaction.
I mean,
that's my prediction for what the next 4 years are going to be.
I mean, I think that's the most positive prediction. I think it's going to be 4 years of plenty of action, but it's going to be terrible action. It's going to be warfare action. It's going to be new conflicts started around the world. And here's some of the things Biden has promised to do. Day one, he's going to rejoin the Paris Accords, which is like kind of meaningless. Like that doesn't really help the environment at all. It's just purely a symbolic thing. And he also claims that he's going to try to put an end to the war on Yemen, which, you know, Obama started by, you know, giving lots of money to the Saudis directly for that purpose of basically starting a genocidal war against a country. So we'll see. I also got to go. My first class is in like 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just realized that. Well, yeah. I guess that's it. No time for recommendations today.
New America.
Bye, New America. See you next time.
miles flying by. Just watch the miles flying by. You are not my typewriter, but you could be my demon moving forward through the flaming doors. You have to lose. You have to learn how to die if you wanna be alive. You have to lose. You have to lose. You have to learn how to die if you wanna be alive. You have to die. You have to die. You have to learn how to die if you wanna be alive. Okay.
The first voice recording was made in 1860. It was a 10-second fragment of the French folk song Au clair de la lune recorded by inventor Edward Leon Scott de Martinville. But who will make the final voice recording and when? What will it be? Who will hear it?